Right, this is the Flask, the Bart Simpson's version. This is issue 28 of his series. This is written by, well, it is a fill-in issue in between runs by Martin Quaid and William Telner Overtures. And this is written by Martin Quaid's friend. He is called Tennessee. That is how he used to credit himself as well, as one of the United States. This issue is the first appearance of Arrowette, and I will field one of your questions right here at the top of the video. No, this is not the one who gets HIV. That was Kid Arrow, a different character, and I will be mentioning her again later in the video. This is Arrowette, and what is definitely of interest to most of you is we have interesting art credits for this. We have layouts by a Buscema, but pencils by a very stylized artist called David Caruso, the actor from Jade, apparently. So we are at a school, and we are straight in with Girl Arrow versus the Spaz. Oh, that's not great, is it? I am allowed to say spaz. I am one. But I am not sure everybody involved in this comic is allowed to throw around the word spaz so freely. Tennessee also only receives a credit for story, so this might be written by the editor. Whoever wrote it, it's okay enough. Arrowette is fighting Spaz Hulk, and it establishes her competently, and we get a good showcase of her up front. This is her first appearance, but after this, she continues to appear in this title a couple more times as a love interest, a very brief love interest, for the Bart Simpson's version of The Flask. Her more meaty appearances come when she joins the Young Justice League, and I'll come to those in a bit. Right now, we have Bart Simpson's ducking out of school to go alongside Quicksilver to stop the Spaz Hulk that is rampaging and causing havoc downtown. So we sort of have a Bart Simpson's and Arrowette team up against Spaz Hulk. And I wish we got a bit more interaction between him and her, Bart Simpson's and Arrowette. This is something that feels a bit off. I wanted to see the two characters interact more. It is like they are in these scenes together, but they don't really make any connection with each other. The other thing is that her costume in this, her original look, is very bad. It looks like a Vegas cocktail waitress. It is not a good superhero costume. But I think we are provided with a good enough reason for it being awful, actually. First, though, I will explain Arrowgirl's appearances in Young Justice League. In issue 4, she joins the team. A team which obviously also includes this version of the Flask, alongside the other kid sidekicks of the time. She also gets a less bad costume when she joins, a red one. She is with the Young Justice League for the first year or two. She develops close friendships with most of the team along the way. The most important being a friendship with Wonder Girl. A very nice tight friendship is struck up by the girls on the team. Issue 15 is a big issue for Arrowgirl, as much as a solo issue, in that her therapist is gunned down. She is shot dead. And so Arrowgirl goes looking for revenge against the assassins. Not really assassins, just people with guns. She is prepared to murder them until Superboy arrives and deflects her arrow. The realization that she almost killed someone gives her a big shake, and she goes through some shit. She's almost catatonic for a full issue. Then she thinks that because she was willing to kill, then she must be evil, and she will have to become a villain. But in the end, she retires from being a costumed adventurer. She hangs up her costume and refuses to ever wear it again. What's refreshing is that despite Arrowgirl quitting, this doesn't mean she is gone from the Young Justice League series. She remains a presence as a supporting character. The most important part of the character, her origin, is provided in this. Throughout the action, Arrowgirl has been receiving assistance through an earpiece, but that assistance is more in the style of barking orders and commands. The person bossing her about is a ma'am, who is gross and disgusting. She always has a tab in her hand, a cigarette. She is a chain smoker. And we actually see Bart interact with her more than we do him interact with Arrowgirl. We get the backstory here, and I am happy that this issue offered it, because DC's digital library is embarrassing, and there was no chance I would find the stories I needed to pull from. Her mum was the original Arrowgirl, who appeared in the late 50s in some Arrow stories. She was a nuisance who wanted Arrow's attention and to be his crime-fighting partner. She wasn't in many of those stories. We're talking an amount you can count on one hand. She did make one other appearance, which was Justice League of America number 7. In that, she is depicted as Arrow's girlfriend. That is her only appearance as such, and it is never really mentioned again. Only pointing it out because I know 100% that issue is available for me to cut away to. We find out here though, she eventually retired after developing carpal tunnel syndrome. She married a nobody and had a daughter, that daughter being the Arrow girl we are seeing in action in this issue. This is honestly not a bad issue. There are some hiccups when it comes to the plot developments, and there is a lack of characterization. But I think overall it reads okay. There's nothing really at fault with it. The plot is thin. It is clearly a spotlight for a new character. So the Flask, the Bart Simpson's version, he doesn't get a humongous amount to do, or even have much motivation besides being a vessel for providing a set of eyes for the new character. Spaz Hulk has captured Arrowgirl and is holding her captive to lure Bart Simpsons into a giant rat trap. The bad guy is another example of lacking motivation. And the crazy thing is that Spaz Hulk supposedly does make more appearances. I guess since he is bullying the Bart Simpson's version of the Flask, he is kind of Nelson Muntz. The one thing that I do not like about Arrowgirl is her mum. She is horrible. She is one of those beauty pageant mums. The ones that force their kids to go into beauty pageants or into acting. The ones who live vicariously through their daughter's youth and are usually neglectful and mentally fuck up their kids. She is trashy. She is horrid. She would also be the explanation I would cite as to why Arrowgirl's costume is so tacky. Arrowgirl's awful mum is sadly in a lot of Young Justice League as well. Usually being incredibly nasty and spiteful. She fucking sucks. She is given a tiny bit of redemption towards the end of Young Justice League, but not enough to make her tolerable. So Bart, he saves Arrowgirl, and it is the end of the story. So already it is time to resolve our deep dive into the history of Arrowgirl, who is a relatively minor character when you consider things. One of her subplots after her retirement is that she enters the Olympics. Except it isn't the Olympics. They say we're not an official partner, so they just call it the Summer Games. But yeah, it's the Olympics. She wins a gold medal for archery, and this propels her into being a bit of a celebrity figure. She even appears on a Buffy the Vampire Slayer style show as a guest star. That is her second spotlight story, I suppose. Wendy the Werewolf Slayer, that is what the show is called. While not popping her costume on again, she does use her archery skills to fight some werewolves. The fact is, she never actually wears a costume or acts as Arrowgirl again in that series. Well, there is Young Justice League 50, where Arrowgirl is among the giant cast of young superheroes, but it is revealed that the Arrowgirl in that issue, in that story, isn't actually her, but it is her mom. Then, all around, useless pissant Kevin Smith introduced a new character called Kid Arrow, and that made Arrowgirl as a character feel especially redundant. She did appear in a Wonder Girl miniseries from 2007 and 2008, which makes sense because their friendship was one of the best things done with Arrowgirl. She puts the costume on again to help Wonder Girl, and it makes sense. She would become Arrowgirl again to help her best friend, but I wish that story gave her a little bit of a scene to properly show how important that is. It's a bit like that Birds of a Feather. You don't understand the importance of her return within that miniseries itself. I know it is a big thing because I have read her appearances before that. Anyway, she's back again in the current Arrow series, and look at her, right next to Kid Arrow. Look at how fucking pointless it is. I bet you can't even tell which is which. And I am apprehensive that the writer will even acknowledge that Arrowgirl is keen to avoid being a costumed hero. That is this issue, and it is not bad. It's not something I would rush to recommend, but it is a decent time filler. It gave us an alright character. I'll rate it 7 interchangeable young girls as Arrow-themed super heroines in red costumes up.